Hello students, today we are going to see about chapter 13, Final Accounts of Sole Proprietor 2. Before starting this class, we are going to recall the previous session. In the previous session, we had saw about chapter 12, Final Accounts of Sole Proprietor 1. Under the topic, Introduction of Final Accounts, Closing and Opening Entry, Trading and Profit and Loss Account, then prepare balance sheet. These are all the above topics are completed in the last session. Now we can discuss about chapter 13, Final Accounts of Sole Proprietors 2. Under the topic Introduction, Adjustment Entries and Accounting Treatment of Adjustments, Summary of Adjusting Entries and Accounting Treatment of Adjustment, then Final Accounts with Adjustment. The above topics will be discussed in this class. First one, what are adjusting entry? In a firm, there will be a number of items, both expenses and incomes, which have to be adjusted. All unadjusted items which need to be brought into books of accounts at the time of preparing final accounts are called adjustments. The journal entries passed to effect the required adjustments are known as adjusting entry. The next question, what is outstanding expenses? Expenses which have been incurred in the accounting period but not paid till the end of the accounting period are known as outstanding expenses. For example, wages, salaries, rent, etc., which have been incurred in the accounting period but not paid at the end of the accounting year are called outstanding expenses. These are the example of the outstanding expenses. Then what do you mean by prepaid expenses? Prepaid expenses refers to amount paid in the current accounting year for the benefit or services to be received in the next accounting year. They are also known as unexpired expenses. Prepaid expenses account is a representative personal account. Then what are accrued income? It incomes which has been earned during the current accounting year but not received till the end of that accounting year is called as accrued income. It generally happens in case of amount to be received on account of commission, interest, dividend, etc. So these are the example of accrued income. The next one question is, what is provision for discount on debtors? Cash discount is allowed by the suppliers to customers for prompt settlement of cash. A provision created on sundry debtors for allowing such discount is known as provision for discount on debtors. The next question, what is the need for preparing final accounts? The need for preparing final accounts are stated below. The first one, purpose is needed is to ascertain the true profit or loss of the business, to determine the true financial position of the business, to make a record of the transaction earlier omitted in the books, to rectify the errors committed in the books, to complete the incomplete transaction. So this is all the need for preparing final accounts. The next one, explain how closing stock is treated in final accounts. The unsold goods is stock at the end of the accounting period is termed as closing stock. The stock is valued at cost price or not realizable value, whichever is lower. If closing stock is already adjusted, purchases account and closing stock will appear in trial balance. Adjusted purchases account will be shown on the debit side of the trading account and closing stock will be shown on the asset side of the balance sheet. Then what are the adjusting entry for the closing stock? So date, particulars, ledger folio debit credit, the closing stock account will be shown in a debit side of the trading account. So closing stock account debtor to trading account, closing stock will be recorded. So value of closing stock will appear on the credit side of the trading account and asset side of the balance sheet, the presentation of the final account. So students, see the exercise number 1. So look at the book, see the question number 1. The first one is pass adjusting entries for the following items. The first one is the closing stock was valued at rupees 5,000. First, what is my closing stock? The unsold goods in stock at the end of the accounting period is termed as closing stock. The closing stock is valued at cost price or not realizable value, that is a market value, whichever is lower. If closing stock is already adjusted, purchases account and closing stock will appear in trial balance. Adjusted purchases account will be shown on the debit side of the trading account and closing stock will be shown on the asset side of the balance sheet. What are the adjusting entry of closing stock? Closing stock account debtor to, you have to open the adjusting entry, you have to open the 5 columns. First one column date column, then second one particulars, third one ledger folio, fourth one debit column, then fifth one credit column. So closing stock rupees 5,000. Closing stock was valued at rupees 5,000. The adjusting entry for the closing stock account debtor to trading account 5,000. The same amount will be represented for debit and credit aspect. So credit column. The narration, closing stock brought into account. Then second one, outstanding salaries rupees 150. Outstanding salary means expenses which have been incurred in the accounting period but not paid till the end of the accounting period are called outstanding expenses. For example, salary, wages, rent. But salary, what are the adjusting entry? Concern expenses account debtor to outstanding expenses account. So concern expenses means salary account. The salary account will be appear in the debit side of the profit and loss account. Okay, the presentation on final account. In the case of profit and loss account, amount outstanding is added to particular expenses account in the trading account if it is expenses and in the profit and loss account. So if it is an indirect expenses. In the balance sheet, amount of outstanding expenses is a current liability and shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. Okay, so adjusting entry, salary account debtor to outstanding salary account, narration salaries outstanding. The both column will be entered into the amount is 150. The same amount will be recorded in both columns, debit and credit column. Then third one, insurance prepaid account. What will be insurance prepaid? The prepaid expenses refer to any expenses or portion of expenses paid on the current accounting year, but the benefit or services of which will be received in the next accounting period. They are also known as unexpired expenses or prepaid expenses. So in this account is a representative personal account. So expenses account is a nominal account. So presentation in the final account. In trading account or profit and loss account. So amount prepaid is deducted from particular expenses in the trading account or profit and loss account, depending upon whether it is direct or indirect respectively. In the case of balance sheet, amount of prepaid expenses is shown on the asset side under current assets. So hence prepaid expenses is shown only in the balance sheet of the asset side. Okay, so what are the adjusting entry? Prepaid insurance account debtor to insurance account. So amount is 450. The same amount will be entered into the debit and credit column. Narration, insurance prepaid. The next question, rupees 20,000 was received in advance for commission. So commission received means in advance refers to income or portion of income received in an accounting year which is not earned in the accounting period. It is also known as unearned income or unexpired income. So in this case of the presentation in the final account, in profit and loss account, this item will appear on the credit side and liability side of the balance sheet. What are the adjusting entry? Commission received account debtor to commission received in advance account. Narration commission received in advance. So 20,000 will be entered into debit and credit column. Then next one, last one, accrued interest on investment is rupees 1,000. So accrued interest on investment means the income which has been earned during the current accounting year but not received till the end of that accounting year is called as accrued income. So what are the presentation final account of the accrued interest on investment on the credit side of the profit and loss account and on the asset side of the balance sheet. So adjusting entry, accrued interest on investment account debtor to interest on investment account. Narration, interest accrued but not received adjusted. So 1,000 will be entered into debit and credit column. Then next we will come to the question number 2. I will read the question. For the following adjustments, pass adjusting entries. First one case is outstanding wages, rupees 5,000. So outstanding wages means it means expenses which have been incurred in the accounting period but not paid till the end of the accounting period are known as outstanding expenses. So presentation the final account of outstanding wages. Amount outstanding is called to particular expense account in the trading account. It is on direct expenses. In the balance sheet, amount of outstanding expenses is a current liabilities side of the balance sheet. So what are the adjusting entry? Wages account debtor to outstanding wages account 5,000. The same amount will be entered into the debit and credit column. So narration, wages outstanding adjusted. Then second one, depreciation. So depreciate machinery by rupees 1,000. What is depreciation? The decrease in value of fixed assets due to usage or passage of time is called depreciation. It is a loss to the business. Depreciation is deducted from the concerned fixed asset in the balance sheet. So presentation the final account in the case of depreciation. So debit side of the profit and loss account and asset side of the balance sheet. What are the adjusting entry? Depreciation account debtor to machinery account. Narration, depreciation on machinery 1,000 rupees. So 1,000 rupees the same amount will be entered into the debit and credit column. Then third one, interest on capital at 5%. That is a capital value is rupees 20,000. So interest on capital means interest on the capital contributed by the proprietor of your business is to be provided in the accounting records. So presentation the final account in the case of interest on capital. In profit and loss account, amount of interest on capital is shown on the debit side. In balance sheet, amount of interest on capital is added to capital on the liability side of the balance sheet. What are the adjusting entry for interest on capital? Interest on capital account debtor to capital account. So narration, provide at 5% on interest on capital of rupees 20,000. So 20,000, that is 20,000 into 5 by 100, we get 20,000. We get 1,000. Okay. So 20,000 5% if 100 panina, we get 1,000 rupees. So the same amount will be entered into the debit and credit column. The next one, interest on drawing. It's one of the last item. Interest on drawing, rupees 50. Interest on such drawing is charged and treated as business income. So presentation final account. In the case of profit and loss account, amount of interest on drawing is shown on the credit side as it is an income or gain. In balance sheet, amount of interest on drawings is deducted from the capital on the liability side of the balance sheet. So what are the adjusting entry? Capital account debtor to interest on drawing account. So narration, interest on drawings, 50 rupees. The same amount will be entered into the debit and credit column. Then fourth one, write of bad debits rupees 500. Write of bad debits rupees 500. So what in bad debits? It means debts which cannot be recovered or become irrecoverable are called bad debits. It is a loss for the business and should be adjusted against profit. So what are the presentation in final account? In profit and loss account, amount of bad debits is shown on the debit side. In prop balance sheet, amount of bad debits is deducted from sundry debtors on the asset side. What are the adjusting entry? Bad debits account debtor to sundry debtors account. So 500 will be entered into debit and credit column. Narration, return of bad debits. Next, we'll come to the question number 9. The accounts of Lakshmi Traders showed the following balance on 31st March 2016. Sundry debtors rupees 60,000, bad debits rupees 2,000, provision for doubtful debts rupees 4,200. At the time of preparation of final accounts on 31st March, it was found that out of sundry debtors, rupees 1,000 will be irrecoverable. It was decided to create a provision of 2% on debtors to meet any future possible bad debits. So pass necessary journal entries and show how these items would appear in the final account. So first in the books of Lakshmi Traders journal entries. So what is mean by provision for doubtful debts? Why is it created? Provision for bad and doubtful debts refers to amount set aside as a charge against profit to meet any loss arising due to bad debits in future. At the end of the accounting period, there may be certain debts which are doubtful. That is, the amount to be received from debtors may or may not be received. Since the amount of loss is impossible in a certain unit, it is proved bad. Doubtful debts are charged against profit and loss account in the form of provision. A provision for doubtful debts is created and is charged to profit and loss account when bad debits occur. It is transferred to provision for doubtful debts account and not to profit and loss account. So what are the journal entries? First you have to prepare the journal entry, then profit and loss account, finally prepare the balance sheet. So three entries will be prepared. The first one is journal entries. So in the books of Lakshmi Traders journal entries, you have to open 5 columns. First one column date, second one particulars, third one ledger folio, fourth one debit column, then fifth one credit column. 2016 March 31st. So what are the journal entry of bad debits? So bad debits irrecoverable account debtor to sundry debtors. Narration, bad debits irrecoverable return of 1,000 rupees. So same amount will be entered into debit and credit column. This value is transferred to profit and loss account. The profit and loss account debtor to provision for bad and doubtful debts account, being bad debits for provision created 1,180. இங்கே பாருங்கள் பேட் சென்ட்ரிக் டெப்டர்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்குது பாருங்கள் 60,000 இருக்குது. ஸோ இதில் நமக்கு ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் பேட் அண்ட் டவுட்ஃபுல் டெப்ட்ஸை நீங்கள் மைனஸ் பண்ணிங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் பேட் டெப்ட்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலி நமக்கு ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸில் இருக்குது. ஸோ நம்ம இதில் மைனஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஸோ 60,000 4,200 மைனஸ் பண்ணிங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னிங்கன்னா ரிமைனிங் வேல்யூ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 60,000 மைனஸ் 4,200. ஸோ 55,800 நமக்கு இருக்குது. ஸோ இந்த 55,800ல் 2% நம்ம கண்டுபிடிச்சிங்கன்னா 55,800 into 2/100. So we get 1,180. This is a provision for bad and doubtful debts value. The narration being bad debits for provision created. இங்கே பாருங்கள் பை ப்ரொவிஷன்ஸ் ஃபார் நம்ம ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ் அக்கௌண்ட்டில் இது அப்பியர் ஆகிருக்கு பாருங்கள். ஸோ கிரெடிட் சைடில் பை ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் பேட் அண்ட் டவுட்ஃபுல் டெட்ஸ் இது நமக்கு ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸ் இருக்குது. நமக்கு ஓல்டு வேல்யூ எவ்வளோ இருக்குது? ஓல்டு வேல்யூ பாருங்கள் ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் டவுட்ஃபுல் டெட்ஸ் 4,200 இருக்குங்களா. லெஸ் பேட் டெபிட்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்குது பாருங்கள். ஓல்டு வேல்யூவே 2,000 இருக்குது. ஸோ ஓல்டை மைனஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ மைனஸ் பண்ணிங்கன்னா வி கெட் 4,200 minus 2,000 we get 2,000 200. Then bad debits return of நமக்கு ஏற்கனவே அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டில் ஒன்று கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள், 1000 rupees கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள். ஸோ அதையும் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுறோம், லெஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. So 2200 minus 1000 we get 1200. Next new provisions கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள். New provision for bad and doubtful debts எவ்வளோ கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள், 1180. 1180 எங்கே வந்துச்சு பாருங்கள், நம்ம ஏற்கனவே ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோங்க இல்லையா, ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ் ஜேர்னலில் பாருங்கள், ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ் அக்கௌண்ட் டெட்டா டு ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் பேட் அண்ட் டவுட்ஃபுல் டெட்ஸ் அக்கௌண்ட் நம்ம 2% கண்டுபிடிக்கும் போது நமக்கு என்ன கிடச்சிருக்கு, 1180. அகைன் அதே நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுறோம், நியூவையும் மைனஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ டோட்டலி வி கெட் ₹20. ஓகேங்களா, இதுதான் நமக்கு என்ன பண்ணோம், ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் பேட் அண்ட் டவுட்ஃபுல் டெட்ஸ். இங்கே நோட் ஒன்று கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள், இஃப் த ஓல்ட் ப்ரொவிஷன் ஃபார் பேட் அண்ட் டவுட்ஃபுல் டெட்ஸ் இஸ் மோர் தென் த டோட்டல் ஆஃப் பேட் டெபிட்ஸ். So bad debits written off and new provision for bad and doubtful debts, then the difference should be shown on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Then next finally prepare the balance sheet as on 31st March 2016. So should be based on both side. So left hand side I have to mention liabilities amount, then right hand side asset side. So assets amount. So we'll come to the asset side. சென்ட்ரிக் டெப்டாஸோட நெட் வேல்யூ நமக்கு கொஷினில் பாருங்கள் 60,000 இருக்குது. இந்த 2000 நம்ம எடுத்துக்கூடாது. ஓகேங்களா, பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட்டில் போடும்போது இங்கே பாருங்கள் 60,000லேருந்து 1000 rupees இருக்குது பாருங்கள், இவ்வளோ இருக்குது. பேட் டெபிட்ஸ் இர்ரெக்கவரபிள் இருக்குங்களா, இந்த அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டில் பாருங்கள் 1000 வில் பி இர்ரெக்கவரபிள் இருக்குது பாருங்கள், மைனஸ் பண்ணிங்கன்னா 59,000. இதில் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுறோம்னா ப்ரொவிஷன்ஸ் ஃபார் பேட் அண்ட் டவுட்ஃபுல் டெட்ஸ் நம்ம ஏற்கனவே ஒரு 2% நம்ம எவ்வளோ கண்டுபிடிச்சிக்கோம், நியூவு 1180. ஸோ அதை நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுறோம், திரும்ப லெஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ டோட்டல் இப்போ அட் ப்ரெசென்ட்டோட சென்ட்ரிக் டெப்டாஸ் வேல்யூ எவ்வளோனா, ஆல் த டிரெக்ட் வேல்யூக்கு அப்புறமா நமக்கு கிடைக்கக்கூடிய வேல்யூ 57,820. ஸோ இதுதான் நமக்கு சென்ட்ரிக் டெப்டாஸோட வேல்யூ. ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் கொஷின் நம்பர் 13. We come to the question number 13. So prepare trading account of prepare trading account of Archana for the year ending 31st December 2016 from the following information. So Archanaவோட ஃபினான்ஷியல் பொசிஷன் நம்ம தயாரிக்க போகிறோம். ஸோ இந்த புக்ஸ் அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள், பர்டிகுலர்ஸ் வேல்யூஸ் given. One is opening stock 80,000, purchases 8,60,000, freight inward 52,000, wages 24,000, purchases returns 10,000, sales return 3,16,000, import duty on purchases 30,000, sales 14,40,000. Then adjustments value, closing stock at ₹1 lakh, wages outstanding ₹12,000, freight inwards paid in advance ₹5,000. So this question prepare the trading and profit and loss account of Archana for the year ended 31st December 2016. So in the books of Archana, trading account for the year ended 31st December 2016, how to open 6 column. So left hand side have to mention DR, then right hand side CR. So all the direct expenses will appear in the trading account for both side. Then indirect expenses will appear in the profit and loss account of both side. First one, to opening stock 80,000, to purchases 8,60,000 less purchase return 10,000. So 8,60,000 the purchase return minus பண்ணும்போது we get 8,50,000 இருக்குது. To wages 24,000, outstanding wages நமக்கு அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டில் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள், wages outstandingனு ஆட் பண்ணுறோம். So wages 24,000, add outstanding wages 12,000, 24,000 plus 12,000 totally 36,000. Then to freight inward 52,000, freight inward 52,000 less freight inward advance நம்ம வாங்கியிருக்கோம். ஸோ 52,000 அட்வான்ஸ் மைனஸ் பண்ணிங்கன்னா ரிமைனிங் 47,000. To import duty on purchases 30,000. Then we will come to the credit side, buy sales account. So credit side starting buy ன்னு எழுதுறோம். So buy sales 14,40,000 less sales return 3,16,000. 14,40,000 minus 3,16,000 we get remaining value 11,24,000. This is the total sales value. Then by closing stock, closing stock நமக்கு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்கள் அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டில். ஸோ க்ளோசிங் ஸ்டாக் 1 lakh. இந்த க்ளோசிங் ஸ்டாக் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா எப்பயுமே வந்து இந்த க்ளோசிங் ஸ்டாக் வேல்யூ வில் பி ஷோன் த அவுட் சைட் ஆஃப் த ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸ். இது எந்த விதத்துலையுமே ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸை பாதிக்காது. ஓகேங்களா, இந்த நோ அஃபெக்ட் இந்த ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸ், இந்த வேல்யூ நம்ம கொடுக்கல அப்படின்னு சொன்னால். ஓகே, இப்போ வில் கம்பேர் டு டெபிட் அண்டு கிரெடிட் சைட். ஸோ கிரெடிட் சைட் வேல்யூ 12,24,000 இருக்குது. பட் டெபிட் சைடில் நமக்கு லோயஸ்ட் வேல்யூ தான் இருக்குது. த ஹையஸ்ட் வேல்யூ நம்ம கிரெடிட் சைடில் 12,24,000 இருக்கிறதால த சேம் வேல்யூ ரெப்ரசன்ட் ஃபார் டெபிட் அண்டு கிரெடிட் சைட். தென் கிரெடிட் சைட் வேல்யூ 12,24,000 மைனஸ் நம்ம டெபிட் சைடு மைனஸ் பண்ணும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா த ரிமைனிங் வேல்யூ 1,81,000 இருக்குது. 1,81,000 ஆக்சுவலி 12,24,000 பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த 12,24,000 வந்து கிரெடிட் சைட் வேல்யூ. டெபிட் சைட் வேல்யூ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 1,43,000 தான் இருக்குது. டெபிட் சைட் வேல்யூவில் இருக்குது 1,43,000. ஸோ 12,24,000 1,43,000 மைனஸ் பண்ணிங்கன்னா ரிமைனிங் வேல்யூ நமக்கு 1,81,000. த டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் வேல்யூ இஸ் நோன் அஸ் கிராஸ் ப்ராஃபிட். அதாவது க்ளோசிங் பேலன்ஸ் கேரி டவுன் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க பாருங்க. த கான்செப்ட் என்ன சொல்லுன்னா த நெட் ரிசல்ட்ஸ் வில் பி ஷோன் இன் எ டெபிட் சைட் ஆஃப் த ட்ரேடிங் அக்கௌண்ட் அப்படின்னா நம்ம கிராஸ் ப்ராஃபிட் அப்படின்னு மீன் பண்ணோம். ஸோ இன் திஸ் வேல்யூ இஸ் known as gross profit. 1,81,000 is the gross profit value. So students, this chapter is over. Reduces syllabus பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 1 to 9 and 13 chapter தான் நமக்கு இருக்குது. 13 sums தான் இருக்குது. So students, this chapter is over. Today we had learn about what are accounting entries and accounting treatment of adjustment. What are the purpose and need for adjustment entries? Then adjustments and adjustment entries, summary of adjusting entries and accounting treatment of adjustment, and final accounts with adjustment. These are all the above topics are completed in this class. So students, understand the concept. I will give some assignment. Try to do the problems in the classwork notebook. If you have any doubt, please contact me. Thank you students.